a human cannot do what technology does. And I just don't think people grasp that. To grow, whether it be roofing, HVAC, you're no longer a plumbing company, a roofing company.
Yep.
You are a technology company. Welcome back to the Exit Rich podcast from the Rilla Labs. And the reason why we're at Rilla is most people don't know this. Rilla is what most people don't realize is this is, I asked my friend Sebastian to do it out of here. He's one of the main contributing factors of how I took months from 0 to 24 million plus in just retail roofing by his coaching program they can use. He can tell us more about the technology. Sebastian, you know I sold that for mid-8 figures in less than 18 months.
I know, I saw it. The Rilla accounts keep changing, and I'm like, this is crazy. You're just transacting, man.
It is, but the reason why I'm such a believer in Rilla is because without Rilla, or without Service Titan, I just Rilla 100% and Service Titan, but Rilla, we're here to talk about today, is there's no way that company sells. It's impossible that people don't understand they're a technology company. So thank you, brother, for letting me interview you. And I consider you a friend at this point. And
thank you, man.
And we're just going to talk and shoot the shit, guys. And we're going to find out what Rilla does, about Sebastian. You're from the Dominican Republic. Yeah, you better say what you guys do here than I can. Yeah. I'm not the best guy at this stuff.
Thank you for going to New York. I'm usually the one interviewing people from this very chair at the Rilla Labs. So you made my life easier because I didn't have to prep anything. So you had to do all the homework. So thank you. Thank you, guys. So, yeah. So for those listening, I'm Sebastian. I'm the founder and CEO of Rilla. So we are the leading virtual ride-along software for the trades. What that means is when your salespeople, technicians, when they go out there and talk to customers in the home, they record their conversations on the Rilla mobile app, and then we use AI to transcribe, analyze, give them feedback, and help the coaches of the trades do what we call virtual ride-alongs that are 100 times faster, better, more productive. So before, physical ride-along was the only way to coach and train salespeople to make them super productive. At Rilla, we say sales is a sport. And the sport of sales was devoid of any visibility, any in-game coaching, game film review. And what we did with Rilla is very simple. We said a physical ride-along that used to take 3 to 4 hours, we're going to take that process down and crunch it down into 3 minutes. And because Rilla is kind of like your AI assistant coach who then goes out there, sees everything that's happening, clips the game film, brings it back to the head coach so that you could do a lot of superpower coaching and training.
So let's jump into, because you're a bright guy, right? You sound like you got a fucking PhD in brightness, right? But I'm going to break it down and just correct me anytime, jump me, because I was talk on a 7th grade, 4th grade, 1st grade level.
Yes, sir.
What you do is you're replacing the human being that you pay somewhere of a salary of $100,000 most likely, plus a commission override of the whole sales team.
Yes.
And they spend normally 1 day in the car. I'm just talking from a 52-year-old man of how I used to do it when I was a district sales manager.
Yes.
I got 1 day in a car with a rep from normally about 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Yep.
We hit 2 or 3 appointments if one didn't cancel.
Yes.
And that was my whole day. And I really didn't get to talk to the rest of my team.
Yes.
Except for on Monday or Friday when I recruit. And I had to sit there live time and observe and watch and probably jump in a lot of times and save them.
Yes.
You just do it now where I can listen live time now. Is that accurate?
Yeah, well, soon to be. Yeah, soon we're going to be able to listen live.
Well, I know we're piloting it, right? Beta.
Yes, that is correct.
Right? So, okay, I want to make sure I'm not totally fucked here, right? So you can listen live time. You're going to be able to.
Yes.
But I can hear the call probably almost in 10 to 15 minutes.
No, or at 3 minutes.
3 minutes, I can hear the call. It gives us, we have, I think, 12 KPIs or 15 bills that we listen to.
That's the key. It's not just a recording tool. It's an analytics tool that'll break down the entire call so that you can see which one of the KPIs was hit, which ones of the KPIs were not hit, and of the ones that were hit, for instance, a greeting step. The salesperson is supposed to greet the customer. How well did they do it? The AI will score them automatically so you could very quickly do the ride-along in 3 minutes.
And we use those KPIs.
Yes.
Bill and his team is constantly on it, looking at it. And that's the driving factor behind all my company's success. As you know, you said we're one of your top 10% customers.
Yes.
Because
and roofing, you guys are like top 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's because, and I probably gave you the other private equity firm.
Well, you basically, well, you know, the other, you know who it is, the other one. You sold to those guys before before.
I never told them to use
Yeah.
And they're great people.
Yeah,
so you say their name?
What? Victor's Home Solutions. So you were involved with Vertex Service Partners.
Yes, so I told them to use you guys. I was But my point being is this: a human cannot do what technology does, and I think that's what people don't realize. To grow, whether it be roofing, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, you're no longer a plumbing company, a roofing company. And just tell me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah.
You are a technology company.
Completely.
And I just don't think people grasp that. Why?
Yeah, and what you just said is super important. I literally was just meeting with a founder from San Francisco. He has started and sold 2 technology companies. He's from the Bay Area, and he was here at Rilla because he's looking to get into the PE roll-up space. He's looking to buy and acquire HVAC companies and build it like a technology company.
Of course.
And more people are doing this because there's so much more sophisticated capital that wasn't here before. I mean, you are actually a vivid example of this. You are not a roofer by trade.
No.
You build one SEO, amazing company. You understood how to do SEO, how to do online marketing. And you got really, really savvy with all of your metrics, all your numbers. And, marketing companies are very similar to tech companies, very data-driven, very operationally effective, very smart, very savvy. And you brought your learnings into the roofing world. And now you're basically running away. Like, it's just like nobody's catching up because you have all the smart money, all the smart, human capital that knows how to do these different things, right? And so, just like you, there's other, really smart people, really smart capital that are coming into the space because what people don't understand is the American home has become one of the biggest sources of wealth generation in this country's history. Because of COVID, people moving into their houses and working from home. We've never had so many people working from home and spending so much time at home than ever before. Millennials owning homes. They're not going to do it yourself. They're going to call a guy because they don't want to fix anything. They just want to get it done with. They're going to go online. It's a savvier customer base as well. That's tech native. The millennials, they grew up with the internet. This is not a foreign thing to them. And so when you talk about some of the new operators that are coming in, for some of the operators that have been here for so long, where the industry was like pen and paper, kind of putting everything on a file bank, you just can't compete with guys like you who are just coming in with all the tech native, all the internet native stuff. And the reason people don't understand it is, I would say, we had Gary Vee at the Roofing Process Conference.
Absolutely.
And it's people, a lot of people, many different times, they know something, but they don't want to believe it. Right? And that's what Gary was talking about. And the speech was like, it's annoying to have to change your processes, to have to adapt to new technology. New technologies are called disruptive because they are disruptive. They're uncomfortable. They disrupt whatever workflow you already have. If you have to migrate from Yellow Pages, which you were very familiar with, to SEO, that's an annoying transition. If you have to migrate from sending ads on the newspaper to going to email marketing and developing email newsletters and that's annoying. That's disruptive, and people don't want to do that. It's annoying. If you became really, really good at something, you don't want. And so a lot of people don't want to accept the fact that, the industry has changed. There's a lot of smart people, a lot of smart capital. Consumers are getting smarter. And so I would say it's just like, it's not that they don't know, it's that they don't want to know.
I said this to someone, right? I never want to get divorced. I love my wife. So don't miss, because a young kid was on one of these apps. Right? It's like Booty Doc, whatever these things are called, right? These apps, like whatever they're called. Right? What are these apps called? Grindr, research,
Tinder.
So
Grindr is a booty app.
So, and he's like, I said, so you never met a girl ever at a bar and bought her a drink and just started talking to her, go home with her or date her? He's like, absolutely not. He's like, every girl I've ever hooked up with is off an app.
That is correct.
No, I know it. It's you're the same mindset.
I'm marrying my fiance. I met her through a dating app.
Okay, so that is so I said I never would, because I could never imagine at 52 years of age having to swipe someone I don't know. I don't know if it's a dude behind there. I don't know, if I'm being, what's that called when you get fish hooked or whatever it's called? Like
a catfish. Fish. I like fish hooked though.
So you get fish hooked, whatever it is, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I couldn't imagine. I love my wife. I'm not saying, but if I were to get divorced, I would never make it in the dating world because
disruptive technology.
But that's the same thing in business.
Yes.
In business, I just want to win so bad in business. I don't care what the technology is.
Right.
If it works, we're going to implement it.
Yeah.
Like here's a true story I don't think I ever told you.
Yes.
Maybe I did tell you about this. We had our number one salesperson out of our HVAC company.
Yes.
He was our number one sales guy. And my partner, Michael Gullich, who I love, but he has a set of nuts the size of a peanut, but great guy, good looking, has all the characteristics. Calls me up because our number one sales guy doesn't want to use Rilla, and it's going on for like 3 weeks, Bill, at this time, like just crazy, right? I didn't know anything about it because I'm not involved in the day-to-day of my companies, you know that. So I'm like, what do you mean he doesn't want to use it? He's like, he doesn't want to use it. He doesn't think it's right. He doesn't want someone listening to him. He doesn't want to be taught. I said, well, first of all, any salesperson that doesn't want to be coached, I don't want in my organization, number one. That's because I get coached. Bill coaches me. Jolene coaches me. Jacob and Neary coach me, as you can see. Like,
you have a business coach, a professional.
I do. Absolutely. I have a coach. And so make a long story short, I said, that's number one. Number two, you probably don't want to be recorded because you're saying things you shouldn't say.
Yes.
I have a camera on me all the time. I'm not saying everything I say is appropriate.
Right.
Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. And I stand behind what I say. If I say something inappropriate, I'll apologize or whatever. I offend someone. But like, it is what it is. Right. I'm not. So I call him up. Right. And I said, no problem. He didn't answer his phone. So I pull into the parking lot and he's outside holding court, like the number one salespeople in every organization. You got one here, I'm sure. He holds court.
You saw him. He was all well dressed and stuff. He's like, he thinks he's hot shit.
Okay, so he's holding court like the number one sales guys do of every organization. I probably shouldn't say his name, beep his name out, but I said, hey, beep. I said, thank you for everything. I wish you the best. Wish you all the well with your career. Obviously, this is your last moment here with me. And this is in front of everyone. Yeah. Like, you know me, I don't give a fuck. And he's like, what? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, he's like, you're firing me? I'm like, no, you quit. He's like, what do you mean? I didn't quit. I said, no, you did quit. The minute you decided not to use Rilla and follow our policy and procedure, I said, now now he's getting heated. He's like, it ain't right. I said, I'm just going to put it to this way. Right? I said, a customer calls us up and says, said this, and this. And you say, no, I didn't promise them the bigger unit. I didn't promise them something else, money, rebates, whatever it may be, you promised them extended warranty. I got to believe the customer because of the customer. Yeah. I have no idea. Now, but if you were to use Rilla and just turn it on, because it takes, I went and found out, Bill showed me how easy it is to turn fucking Rilla on. It's a bank, right? Like, it's like turning your phone on. Like, I could do it. I'm a monkey with technology, right? So I'm sitting here, right? And I was like, how do I defend you? He's like, what? He's like, you can believe me. I said, no, that's not good enough. I said, because I have a duty to the organization, the other people, and to the customer. Now, if I had that recording, I could play it for the customer and say, I completely understand how you might have thought you heard that, but there's a misunderstanding, and here's the recording. And now they have nothing to stand on except for their feeling. Because I just played back. And I fired him. That was the last day.
Oh, shit. I didn't know you fired him.
Oh, I fired him. Oh, 100%. That was his last day, right, Bill?
Oh, shit.
Anybody made it to the end of the day?
He came back and he apologized to the situation of what he was going to adopt immediately.
Oh, okay. So then you got me back. Okay, that's what I thought.
Because the bigger problem was it was creating a mutiny in all my roofing companies and my plumbing company.
People following the leader.
Because people was following the leader, this guy.
Yeah.
And immediately everyone puckered up. And we never had a problem with Rilla.
One of the best implementations we've seen, and that's an example for the people listening. That is an example of disruptive technology. That is how disruption feels like. It's annoying. I don't want to do it. I don't want it because of this, and that. But there's some value to be gained if you can actually go through the period or go through the storm, go through the disruption, then you can get all the gains. And those are the businesses.
The storm is a month.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really to get. How many times, and Bill, I'm just curious, has Rilla saved us across the country now with all of our places where a customer said, we were promised this warranty, we were promised this. How many times? At least 100 by now? 50?
50, I think it's a good number.
50
one a week.
Times, one a week. Throughout
hundreds of salespeople.
But you got to think about this, though, Sebastian. One a week, that stops me from getting a negative review.
Right.
It stops me from putting money out I shouldn't have. It stops me from charging back a sales rep.
Yep.
It lets my sales reps know we do the right thing.
Yep.
As an organization, we stand by them.
Yep.
Who doesn't want to work? But so here is something, like we track all of our metrics, right? And Bill could better tell you, and I wish Bill, get out here, say hi to everybody. Come out here, big Bill, because...
Hey, Bill.
Bill knows the numbers better than I do, so I might as well.
Are we gonna catch him?
Yeah, we
That's all right. Here, Bill, I'll slide this over for you. I'm Master Bill. My bad. Here, I'll slide this over for you, Bill. Just speak into the mic here. So, Sebastian, I never told you this. So I think our close rate when we implemented it with Cherry first, correct? It was because we sold that to Vertex, and our close rate was, if I'm correct, was like in almost like the 15% at first, right? Like it was fucking low.
18%.
18%. We went up to almost a 40% close rate. The only change we had was Rilla, because Bill could start listening to calls. Our sales manager could start listening to calls, and we weren't like, how do I say, going crazy, having to go on all these sales calls. We were just, because before we were riding with people, remember? Like what's going on in the call, we were trying to, and we just implemented it, and we went from, think about, and this is what people don't realize, and Bill was like, look at our close rate just by this. I said, Bill, you don't realize, think how much money we're making back on our marketing dollars because of Rilla. He said, what? I said, we spend all this money on marketing. We
That
just
will lead to more valuable,
but they just became that much of a better ROI on our marketing spend.
They're less expensive.
Less expensive, better close rate. And people don't understand that. Like, can you talk about why people aren't looking? Because, Bill, you can talk about that story. Because I think that's one of the best stories that we have as an organization when people do shop tours with us about why we really ran to Rilla. We saw it there, and we sold Charter.
Well,
You guys are
We lasted 13 months.
Yeah.
I saw that.
We saw the licenses changing accounts, and we're like, oh, okay, great. They're transacting.
I think that the one statistic that made the most sense, and we changed our whole fundamental philosophy, is we used to go in and say, I'm going to tell you about how great we are. We've been in business for 40 years. We're going to do all these great things. We have 5-star reviews. And you put a statistic out that probably about a year ago, it said 8x times when you talk about how you're going to fund a project before value story.
Yeah.
We readopted our entire strategy to say, hey, how do we get project funding upfront into the call within the first 15 minutes?
Right.
That skyrocketed our close ratio because it took the pressure off being able to have an understanding of what was happening in the home with the homeowner. And
Tell them about how much it increased our finance. And then we got to ask you questions because we're just chit-chatting here with you about Rilla. But because I was just excited to tell you some of the stories here. I think we were financing at the time, Cherry, less than 30% of all jobs.
Yep.
No, like what, like 70 or something?
70% of all jobs.
Yeah. And so we saw the close ratio go up with the financing as well.
Yeah, because one of the things, that's another one. That's another disruptive technology that the salespeople don't like to, because
they hate the financing. They love it now when they see how much money they're making.
But at first, it's disruptive. They're not used to it. They don't get it. And so then they're like, I don't know. This is too complicated. It's going to mess up my stuff. I don't want to do it. You start financing. We've done the Rilla Labs math all the time. When you talk about financing, of course, the close rates go up. Of course, the average tickets go up because now you don't have to discount that much because you're just presenting the customer the same kind of project at the same, even more expensive actually, but you're presenting it in a way that's actually affordable. Getting the same quality. It's just basic stuff. But that the data is showing the things that we already.
And script compliance became a part of our language that I would have never have said if it hadn't been for Rilla.
Yes.
Being able to say, hey, we know at 2 hours and 3 minutes, we skyrocket to 66% close ratio once we're past that point.
Because of the talk time. This is something interesting that you mentioned, Bill and Lance. When we're talking about disruptive technologies, we recently talked to Billy Bean at the Rilla Masters, the guy who basically engineered the Oakland A's, the concept of Moneyball in sports. Yeah. And we talked to him, and one of the biggest reasons why it took baseball teams so long to adopt this new data-driven approach, I thought it was because they didn't have the data. Billy Bean told me, no, that's wrong. Everybody had the data. Baseball's a sport that's publicly available. People have been crunching the numbers on baseball for like 100 years. You could go back into there's like Harvard University has a whole like statistics on the entire sport of baseball. The only thing that Billy Bean did is he actually started applying the data that was already available to actually make decisions. So before in sales, we didn't have the data. Now we do because we have platforms like Rilla. But the difference between the operators who are actually succeeding in this new day and age, people complaining about the recession and consumers cutting back. You guys are not complaining about the recession. You guys are not. You guys are increasing close rates, increasing financing rates because you are going through the annoying, disruptive process that is to implementing.
Should we tell them the Planet Roof story?
Yeah, we can.
So this will make you feel good. So we partnered with Travis, Nate, and Adam Planet Roof, and they're good guys out in Pittsburgh. And they did $2 million all last year, $2.3 million, all insurance work, right? So, but the reason what made me partner with them, Travis has 3 sons, single father. I really prayed on it and thought about that night when he asked me to be his partner. And at first, like, Bill's like, I don't want to say it, like, Bill's like, Lance, come on, man. Like, this. I came back to Bill next morning. I said, Bill, like, this guy has 3 single kids, single father. He's beating drugs. This guy has a great story, in my opinion. I love those second chance stories.
Yeah.
I do. I love them. So I was like, fuck it, I'm all in. Let's go. I called Travis up. Bill didn't even know I called him before I even told Bill that we're doing it. So Bill's like, listen, we're in. They struggled the first, probably 90 days, 120 days. Not adapting to it. And they had a struggle with Service Titan Emerald, full transparency, like just because we engage, because we go all in on technology right from the beginning. Like I tell people, like we don't ask you to do it. You're told to do it, or you're gone.
You're gonna do it.
You're gone. And I don't care. Like you see me, I've separated from people with the swiftness. Like if you don't follow the playbook, you're out. I don't need the money. I damn sure don't need a headache, right?
Yep.
So it was in December, Marco Island. We sat down, never forget, right after the roofing conference process. Our last night we went to dinner. I don't know if you came to dinner with us. I know Brad Lee.
I think I just came for the morning.
You just came for the morning, so you would have missed a good dinner. But so before dinner, Bill meet with these guys. I said, guys, listen, this is your moment of truth. You either embrace Rilla, Service Titan, engage, you start doing these things, or it's over. I'm going my own way. I wish you the best. No hard feelings. Didn't say it so politically correct, but I'm just cleaning it up here, right? And if Bill was at his wit's end, Mike Shelley's at his wit's end, and I'm not involved day to day. I only see the P&Ls and the metrics, right? I said, guys, so we talked for probably about an hour before dinner. We beat Munns last month in sales. We did close to $3 million all retail. They love Rilla. The guy Joel couldn't imagine not using Rilla. These guys coach themselves now. They listen to them. I see them on the group text. They put them on group text, the recordings.
Yeah.
And like, hey, listen to that 3 minutes and 32 seconds, because everyone's helping everyone get better. I want you to think about that. A company that only didn't even do $3 million last year, we did $3 million this month, and we're not even a year old using technology. And Rilla is a big piece of the puzzle. That's why I don't understand, because I know you guys are VC. You had people invest into your company, right?
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that experience too.
Yeah, so we had Bessemer Venture Partners, same people who did the Service Titan Series A back in the day. Byron Dieter, who was the leading partner there, he came in, invested in Rilla. This year we haven't announced it yet. We just did it. We're about to finalize another round of funding with some pretty cool investors. So yeah.
Why didn't you ask me?
What? Well, it's not finalized, so it's not finalized.
Wow. Damn. Yo, Jacob.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Yo, what's your name? Jake. Jeez, have you ever seen such fucking disrespect? I'm here. Yo.
He's calling. Let me come in. Yo, what's Jake?
Would you do a customer funding?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
So you'll take my money?
Oh, yes. If it's our customers, like number one priority for investment is our customers.
Okay.
Because our customers, we want to be super aligned with our customers.
Well, we'll have a check up here. Get me the paperwork.
I just don't want you to get a heart attack when I show you the price of the
Listen,
Listen, Mrs. Homeowner, I think we can work on a payment plan here. Because this price.
I think I own other technology companies. I invested.
Yeah, correct. Titan Pro Technologies is also a Rilla customer.
Well, think about that. That's how much we believed in it. You know, I took that company to 40 people now in less than a year and a half.
That's awesome.
2 to 40 people in a year, and we have no.
You guys operate in the same building, which is really cool.
All my leadership team operates in the same building, so I can be with them. We have people all over the country.
That's like a really cool kind of. I've never told you this, but one of the things I like about, because I've been to your office a couple times, and one of the things I like about it is that there's so many different companies there. It's like a hodgepodge of really smart people, like working on different things. One is working in a technology company, the other one working on marketing. The other one's working like on the roofing company. There's like the trainings. It's such a great energy, and for your salespeople to be a like seeing all of this, like the super sophistication. That's like, I think one of your biggest differentiators is that you literally put all of this together in the same roof.
We're moving eventually because I sold both those companies.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks. But you are right. The energy's
But
great.
that's the process. That's the thing. Like when people think like, oh, like people who, like a lot of people in private equity now, we just had Rob Parker on the podcast who like deals with all the private equity and HVAC and home services. A lot of the private equity people, the golden nugget here is finding organic growth, not just like, hey, I'm going to grow because I'm going to acquire, because I'm growing, because I'm acquiring people. It's how do you buy something, and because of your process, your business, because of the things that you add value so that the whole can become better than the sum of its parts. And that's what you guys have done
Let me break that down
with your
for
process.
the fourth grade education level, my man here, okay?
Yeah.
What he's saying is, and what you should do is how can you provide so much enterprise value when you get into an organization that might not be, because most of our companies that we partner with aren't really sellable to private equity, or they're right on the cusp. They're going to get stolen by the private equity people. These guys are sharks. You know that. They're very sharp people. I'm not saying in a bad way. They're sharp people, and they're going to underpay you if you're on the verge, very low. So when I partner with them, I like to believe, and I know we believe, and Bill says this, Lance, you bring such enterprise value to them. I literally 50x to 100x their company. I've done it time and time again by just quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 52 years old. How much time? Like, there's only so much runway left, right? Of me. Like I tell people this all the time. It took me 20 years.
You've basically made like an assembly line of like you put like a business here, and then
100%.
Bill comes in with all the coaching, all the process, all the training, marketing, SEO. Bam, comes out the other side as
100%. And we've had a very high success rate, fortunately.
which is very rare.
Because people aren't. I said this to the shop tour today, and I heard this quote, and it stuck with me. And I say it all the time now. It will take you longer to become the man that you need to be to build your company than once you figure it out and become that man, then it will take you to build that company. Because you can build a company.
Yes.
You can build a $30 million. I've done it now. A $30 million company in 12 months. I've done it.
Yes.
Without blinking.
Yeah.
I've done it without blinking. I can build $1 million company. And I did it. I proved the point. I built $1 million company in revenue, signed, sealed, done, and paid in 5 days. Yes or no?
That is a true statement.
And without ever advertising.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have done that 15 years ago.
Right. The knowledge was
the human capital. I had to become the man, and now I literally built $1 million company. I proved it. Jacob, yes or no, Neary? I said I'm going to build this out in less than 5 days, 1 week to $1 million, and did I not? It was all locked up. The winner's circle. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Less than 5 signed just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Because people are like, "Oh my God, you can't build a 7-figure business."
People think it's luck, and it's like if you have they asked Mr. Beast, super. I think he's one of the best entrepreneurs of our generation, and they asked him like, "What would you rather have, $1 million if you were to lose everything?" He was like, "What would you rather have, $1 million or 1 million subscribers?" And he goes like, "Oh, neither. I don't care. If I were to lose everything, I can literally start a YouTube channel tomorrow and get it to 10 million people within the week. I don't get, and when I get 10 million subscribers, I get a ton of money because the brands and everything, because he knows how to do it. He just spins it up. That's his kung fu. He's in the flow of that.
I could lose everything.
Seems like your kung fu is just taking roofing companies or home service companies and bang.
Any company, technology. It's I can lose everything.
Yeah.
And as long as I don't lose my leadership team, I can lose every pennant.
Yeah.
I can lose everything. Every social media handle I have, every penny. You give me my leadership team, I will build you back a $50 million organization in less than 90 days.
Yeah. Yeah, it's human capital.
We have the human capital. My team has it. They have I call it the sack. I don't know if I should say that. They have this sack. They do. They have the sack.
You can see what you want.
They his. She's I'm
the guest and my podcast for it.
They have the sack. They have the knowledge. They have the grit. They want to work, and they have the human capital of strategy. And when you have those things and the playbook, and you know they work, right? It's rinse and repeat. R&R, I call it rinse and repeat. We're not doing anything special. We're just doing and actually implementing what Tommy Mello told me to do, what Dave Geiger told me. Like, I've never had an original thought, Sebastian. Like, that's not got the truth. People were like, well, I'm like, I've never had an original. Like, this guy has original thoughts. I think he smokes the Chiba. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
What are you speaking, Bill?
Those days are done. There was plenty of that in the past.
I mean, but like, yeah, I think these, because people come to me like they have these original ideas. I'm like, man, I got no fucking original idea, like ever. Yeah. Like, I watch TV, like I got my wife flowers today. I just happened to see a guy last night on TV sent his wife flowers. So I texted my assistant. I said, yo, get my wife flowers. She said,
Sam Walton from Walmart, he said that everything interesting that he's ever done, he copied from somebody else.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
but it's working out.
It's like it's like people overcomplicate it. If you look at what successful people are doing and you learn from them and you copy their greats. I mean, that's in art, that's in business, that's in sports. Kobe Bryant was trying to copy Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was trying to copy all the greats of the time, watching the game film. Rilla is an example of that. The reason Rilla works is you take the top performer and you try to show everybody what they're doing so they can copy them.
Let's talk about that, because we do that a lot. We take our top performers, Brian Toff, Ruber, you can name them better than I could, so I don't want to leave the top guys out. Can you name a few so it's just not?
As far as across the board,
Yeah, like
I mean, you could.
the Lake brothers, goddamn, these boys are good looking too, Sebastian. They make some of these good looking kids look ugly up here in New York. These Link boys, how good? We got to get a picture of the Link boys up on this thing.
Our
Oh my God.
has been built by what the
Bill's so polished and serious, though. He's like Obama. He's like Obama. Bill's like Obama. Dead Obama.
You got Toff, Rupert. These guys have done 400,000 or 500,000 a month consistently for the last 18, 24 months. And so
Oh, wow.
we utilized the talk tracks and Rilla to be able to say, go ahead, you can listen to this guy. You can hear what this guy's saying. Two different guys.
Yes.
Get to the end result. Over the course of the entire 2024 year, now these guys are completely different. One guy's a hardcore closer. One guy's polished. He's going to take you through them. They were only separated by $6,000 on $4.5 million.
Wow.
They were they were trying to sign deals, follow-up deals on December 31st.
Because they want to win.
Yeah, I want to win.
Yeah.
I want to win. And that's the thing that no matter which one market you go to, when you incorporate that winning mentality, sales as a sport, we generally come out on top.
Listen, I want to jump into this because we talked about Rilla. People, listen, I'm going to tell you this. You watch this podcast, if you're not on Rilla, silly on you. It's a no-brainer, right? It's like getting up and breathing air, right? So I love the energy here. This reminds me of yellowpages.com. Like, I got my mojo back in here. Like, right? I stepped out of the sprinter.
Gloves, man.
I did. I got out of this sprinter. I
Show these young bugs what it's like.
Well, we used to have an office at 46 and Park. We used to live at 81st and 2nd together.
You guys are New York guys. Yeah,
No, not New York guys. We used to.
New York guy, do you?
You lived here for life when he walked into the lobby.
I said, let's get a hotel tonight and stay tonight, guys.
It was 46 and Park.
Like, you have that energy, and you walk up here, and not that. Listen, you guys run a great organization, but you do. Every organization that grows has to have that sales vibe, right? People don't understand. Like no one ever thinks I'm a sales guy. Like, I'm a fucking sales guy, people. I gotta sell people. I'm a sales guy, but I used to be one of the best salespeople at AT&T and Verizon. But I mean, the long story, I gotta keep telling people that because no one believes me. But I mean, he just said, "Yep." He kept going. He just
Marketeer starts as a great sales host.
This guy just yep, and he kept going. Not like, "Hey, Lance, well, you really? I can see it." Come on, Sebastian.
No, every great marketeer always starts as a great salesperson. Gary was a salesperson at the wine company for like many years, and so before he got into marketing.
This reminds me of YP.com, but people think it's easy what you did. Like, they look at Rilla now.
Yeah.
And I love the good-looking tall dude there with the press. You can tell that's your guy, right? He's handling your PE guys. You know, every nightclub in Philadelphia opens the door for him. What's this kid's name? Conrad. Oh, Conrad's here. Part the seas, the good-looking guy. All the ladies come over, right? I was never Conrad, but that's okay. But people knew who I was. But you have that energy here. But it wasn't always like that, because Conrad said at one point in time, you guys were in an office like this, 5 of you, and that
it
was
was like really like this room, and it was like 10 of us when Conrad started, and I was still selling like right next to Conrad. We're all saying the same script. It was like, we're the leading speech analytics software, home improvement industry. 1, 2, 3. Matt Felito was my first sales guy. He's now a sales director. Conrad, he just turned 24 or 25 or something. This is he's going to go into his second year at Rilla. And he started here, his first job out of college. He was playing lacrosse at Holy Cross University. His first job out of college. He started here as a kid, he was like 22 years old. And last year he closed just like $5 million. This year in April alone, he closed like $3.3 million in the last day of April. So this year he's like tracking to do like $10-15 million. It's crazy. And he's like, hey, he's like 25 years old.
But it wasn't always like that.
No, no.
Like because he said like at one point in time you guys thought you were going to go.
Oh my God.
Can we talk about that and what? Because people look at you now and they're like, he's successful.
Yeah.
You got big VCs.
Yes.
I'm ready to cut you a check, right? I was hurt that you wouldn't take my money, right? But we'll talk about that in private, me and you. But, you know, the reality is this, and let's just talk about it. There are dark days and dark nights when you're doing what you're doing. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, to me, to be completely honest, so I used to do stand-up comedy, right? So that's how I got my start in business, everything. A lot of what I learned in business, I learned in stand-up comedy, having to create things out of nothing, having to fail in front of people and be okay with it and learn from the failure. To me, failure is your biggest teacher. And the more you can fail, the fastest you can fail, the more you're going to learn and just, you know, blow past everybody else. I learned that from stand-up. And in stand-up, the other thing I learned is just have like a long time horizon. Because it's a comedian, you know, if you're the best of comedians, they'd spend 10 to 15 years, even 20 years, just in poverty. You don't make like Kevin Hart, 10, 15 years with nothing. Nobody knew his name, nobody. And then he came out with one of his specials and blew up, right? Now he's a world star. All these comedians, 10 to 15 years, long time horizon, just to get good at your craft and become inevitable. So I was looking at a 10 to 15 year time horizon when I started my first company. I got from stand-up to business because I thought it was very similar. And when I started my first company, I was like, oh, it's going to be 10 to 15 years to make it happen. And so when it was, I started my first company in 2018. I had the idea for Rilla 2019. We started Rilla 2019. The first 3 years of Rilla, I like to say our first 3 years of business was just going out of business. No money, no customers. We're trying to get this AI to work. Doesn't work. We're trying to find markets. We were trying to sell to New York retailers back in 2020 when COVID was happening and nobody was walking in the stores. It was the stupidest. It was like really, really bad. And over time, trial and error and failure, you know, those times where when we didn't have anything, we were like, is this going to work? To me, I was like, oh, it's just year number 3. You know, I have 15 years. You know what I mean? I have 12 more years, long time horizon. Who cares? Let's keep trying. And to me, those were some of the most fun times.
Absolutely.
Like, they were because it was me and my co-founders. We were just friends working with each other. We had no idea what we were doing. We were in somewhere in Bed-Stuy, Bushwick, Brooklyn, in an apartment. People think like the Silicon Valley startups is in a garage. In New York, you get a little cramped apartment in the hood. And you figure it out. And we were there and it was super fun. Like literally me and my co-founders talk about it now, like with nostalgia. It was like, oh, that was so fun. Now we have like this company to run and like business.
Now you got real pressure.
You got pressure. You got numbers to hit. Before it was like, dude, we were like, you know, figuring things out, or nobody, like,
absolutely,
like nobody cared.
You have investors you got to answer to.
So it's like all these things. So those times were actually so cool and so fun. And we joke, like, it's not a joke back then, but we were like, oh, we're going out of business. But it turned into a running joke that Rilla, we've been going out of business since 2019 because we just, and even to this day, we grow a lot. We have a lot of money in the bank, but we throw everything back into the business. And we literally reinvest every single dollar. And so we've never been one of these companies with like a lot of cash in the bank, bloated capital. We've always been very lean, and that comes from our origins. And so, yeah, so when Conrad started, it's like what he told you. He's like, the joke was like every day I would be like, guys, we're going out of business, and everybody would start clapping. Be like, well, let's go. Like when people join Rilla, I would ask them, are you afraid to die? And they would be like, no. And I'm like, all right.
Double
because I'd be like, this could go any second, and so let's enjoy it. Let's keep going. And so, yeah, it was just so fun. And nobody cared. We were like, okay, we could go out of business tomorrow. Let's just give it our best shot.
And you had to grow, though, also as a leader. Because people, listen, I don't care what you say. Like when you're at the helm of an organization, and we probably have 500 to 1,000 people across the board.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People look at, and I know I joke about stuff, and, you know, but you got to watch everything you say, for the most part, with a reason.
Yeah.
You got to definitely watch your behavior. Right? People are looking at that. People are watching during tough times how you handle how you react. Can you talk about how you're growing through that? Because I don't think a lot of people understand that your business won't grow if you aren't doing those things right.
Yeah. So what's very difficult for us is that we are kind of like in these, and you guys know this, but it's like Anybody who's there's two when you it's really difficult to learn what we're doing because most businesses in the world are two types of businesses. It's small businesses or it's large businesses. Very few businesses are going from very small businesses to very large businesses very fast. And it only happens in specific periods of time.
Absolutely.
You guys have seen this, like you go from small to big, and that period of like transitioning from small to big, that's really hard. Especially like, in our first year, we went from 0 to 1.4 million, 1.4 to 10, 10 to 30. Like we 10x'd in 1 year. If you 10x in 1 year, that means you have to 10x yourself as a leader and basically literally become 10 times better so that you can keep up the growth
100%.
in the next year. And that's not easy.
No.
Like and what you realize is your business only grows as fast as you can grow, as you're mentioning. And so what you need to be aware of is the learning in your brain, which is the human capital, the things that are defensible over time. The learning, if you actually lean into the learning, you realize that learning compounds faster than anything in life.
Oh my God.
Faster than the interest rate, faster than anything. So if you lean into, hey, I'm going to learn how to become better myself, whether it's through, I read a lot of biographies. I try to read from the people who came before me. Again, very few original ideas, but, try to mix things up together in a special way sometimes. And so I read a lot of biographies. I talk to people who are a little bit ahead of me founders from tech companies that are ahead of me so that I can learn from them how they did it, so that I can avoid making the same mistakes and make different mistakes.
Absolutely.
And so, and that's the only way to do it because you can't 10x yourself unless because it's not natural. It's not natural for the human brain to learn that quickly on your own. It's just not possible. And so you have to enable yourself with your network, with information. Books are out there, podcasts, all these things. And so, and then every time I realized when I unlock something new in my brain, the business goes into hyper growth again.
100%.
And then when I stop learning, the business gets into steady state growth, and then I unlock something new and bam, and it grows again. So
let's talk about this. You changing, right? Because you said something. The business goes as fast as you go. I always say the speed of the captain's the speed of the boat. Yes, Bill?
Yes.
And, and if you ain't going to be the guy driving it, speeding it, you shouldn't be the CEO. Like I knew I wasn't going to drive because I'm not. There's certain things I won't give up. My children.
Yep.
Bill's okay now. Bill wants to be that driver. I'm okay with that. I have no ego. Go drive. Hey, jump in the fucking car and drive, pal. I'll be the passenger, right?
Yeah.
And you got to be willing to change because your culture changed here. Can you talk about how hard? Because you said your network, and you said invest yourself. You asked me, I'm in a coaching group for myself, and I have a coaching group. But when we talk to people, and how many people do you see that they won't invest in themselves, and they wonder why they're not growing?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Because you talk to entrepreneurs all day. All you guys are talking to is business owners all day long.
Yeah.
They want to invest in themselves.
Yeah. It's hard for. It's hard. It's like Tommy talks about this, which is like, like when you're getting started and you're going from 0 to 1, it's pure hustle and it's pure like just sheer willpower.
Yep.
And then you have to realize like, oh, okay, shit, I want to get to 10, and from 10 I want to get to 100. When you get to 10 or you want to get to 10, even from 1 to 10, you have to start thinking, oh shit, it's not only about willpower, it's about setting up the right processes, the right systems. You have to literally step out of, it's like the things that got you here are not going to get you there.
Absolutely not.
That's so difficult for business owners to understand because you're literally telling them, hey, stop doing what you've done, everything you've done that made you successful up until this point, and do something different that you have no idea what to do. Like hire people that are smarter than you, delegate. That's really hard, especially for people that are very driven. And so, yeah, we see this. That to me, that's the main source of it. It's like you're literally telling an entrepreneur, like, stop doing what made you successful, and that's so counterintuitive. It's like go jump out this plane. It's like what?
At my shop tour today, the guy. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to. He did $3 million, right, a year? And he's a roofer, really nice guy out of New York. And he said, how did you go from, to me, the imagination of $3 million a year to $3 million a month, like no problem? And I said, because when I started hanging around with the right people, investing in myself, getting coached myself, looking. I went from why me, the victim, to why not me. If I see you do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
I just got to get that human capital,
Yes.
right? And what's that worth? Because once you have this, people can't take it from you.
Yeah.
People can take your money,
Yeah.
but they can't take this.
Correct.
And that's why I know, and I've done it now time and time again.
But it took you a long time.
It took me a long time
Yeah.
to understand that. But I haven't had a business fail in the last 7 years, not one.
Right.
They've all grown exponentially. I've sold 6 companies for that reason, because of the human capital, and people don't understand the investing in themselves.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind. Like,
it's
it's just
hard.
like, what is wrong with you?
It's just, yeah, it's that like, and like, for instance, a learning that I had recently at this level of scale, I used to run Rilla like on a week by week basis.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me the weekly growth. I want to see the weekly number go up. And we're like growing like 100% month over month, like 20. And then I was like, okay, week over week. And then it became month over month. And then most recently, I realized like, oh shit, a lot of the contracts, like the customers that we deal with, these are multi-million-dollar publicly traded companies, large multi-billion-dollar operations. These contracts take a few quarters to close. We just have the data. Like, one of our contracts took us like 18 months to close.
Absolutely.
And so then I realized myself as a leader, I was like, oh shit, 18 months. That's like half the time that Rilla's been around selling commercially.
Yeah.
I learned myself that I was like, oh shit, I have to think in a longer time. I can no longer manage the business week by week or month by month.
You couldn't say, "Hey, Rick, 18."
Yeah. I like it. I couldn't. I was like, I would, because everything about my brain, I would like start, the month would start and I'm like, the ticker's on here. Let's hit our number. Now I have to be like, oh, guys, like 18 months from now, Q3 2026, how's our pipeline looking? Which is something that was so foreign to me. I was like, what? And then my sales director comes like, oh, this month we're so screwed this month. And I'm like, I don't care about this month. Tell me about the quarter.
What do we always say? What's the quarter look like?
Yeah.
What? Because
You have to start managing at a different level of scale. And that comes on, again, every level of scale comes with counterintuitive things that you have to learn to do different. And so that's what's so hard for people.
you brought up the roofing conference earlier. What'd you think of it? You go to a lot of conferences. Give me your no bullshit assessment. What'd you
So
think of it?
we went to the roofing process conference before you took it over. And to be completely honest with you, it was not our intention to come back, to the roofing process conference.
Damn.
Before you took it over. And then you took it over. That's the only reason why we said, let's give it a shot, right? Because Lance, you guys are a customer, but like, we've seen how you operate. And like, Bill, you guys did one of the best implementations of Rilla that we had ever seen. The fact that, all of your guys were on it super quickly. We typically see like a 3-month, time horizon.
Absolutely not.
Like, you guys got it in. So we knew like, okay, these guys know what they're doing. Like, every single business in roofing that I thought was like, oh, this is a great business, you guys were somehow involved with them. The people that I was like, these guys are great operators. I said, listen, we typically say we're not going to do shows that we don't do well at, right? That's just data, right?
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Simple enough.
So you guys are like, okay. I was like, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot in a big way. So we're going to sponsor the conference in a big way, literally because it was you guys. There's no other reason.
Well,
We went in. The first time that we did it, we booked like 3 to 5 demos or something like that. We closed like 1 customer. This time last year, which was like December 2024, we went in, we booked over 50 demos, so 10x from the last time. One of our top performing conferences. For us, the fall ends like basically with Pantheon Service Conference. It was basically like we had Pantheon and all those conferences right back, then bam, another one to close out the calendar year. And it was just a fantastic, just the operation that you guys did.
of the 50, how many did you close?
We typically close like 50%, so like 25 something, so 25 times 25,000, but 25 times 37,000, whatever 25 times 37,000 is.
Someone do the math. It's almost price. My God, you talk about
Like $500,000 or something like that. One of our top performing conferences.
and that's if and then they're going to recur and stay with you.
That's an annual. Oh, that's annual.
That's annual, yeah.
That's lifetime value.
And I can't imagine once people are Rilla, you have a high churn rate.
No. So our churn rates is super low. Our net revenue retention, which is net revenue retention is how much of the revenue we're retaining. our net revenue retention after a year is actually 159%.
I believe it.
Which means people like you guys, you start with a certain level, but you keep growing and you keep adding people. And so, yeah, so they typically customers are spending more money with us after a year.
I appreciate the fact of the compliment on how we implemented it.
Yes.
I can tell you that I've onboarded a number of softwares, and Rilla's implementation and onboarding was the best that I had experienced because of the way that it was handled across the board.
Yeah.
So that makes, when you have good adoption for that, somebody's excited about it, as well as good adoption of what you're getting, it clicks that much more. Every class that we have that goes down on the first of the week, Isabel's sitting on that call.
Yes.
Teaching people how to be better at Rilla.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, who would cancel Rilla and why? I just want to know what, when you get
Typically like smaller businesses, you know,
Maybe
maybe
the adoption from the beginning.
yeah, like it's a typically smaller business. Like it's and it's not that
if you don't get buy-in from the leaders of anything,
yeah. It's adoption. It's like when people we don't have a renewal motion at Rilla. We don't go like typically tech companies. They'll call you before the end of the contract and be like, "Hey, so and so, are you happy with the blah blah?" We don't do that. All of our effort into renewing customers happens in the first month. Because in the first month, in the first quarter, that's when we're going to put all the resources to implement and make sure. Because if the implementation doesn't go well,
it's a shit show.
then it's never going to get. Imagine you have come in and then that's kind of mental virus of the top performer not wanting to do it and the other guys don't want to get on.
You know, you heard the story where I had to fire people.
Yeah,
right?
it's like,
I tell you, no, about my leadership team.
oh, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah. So we were implementing you and Service Titan kind of at the same time, right? And and Engage was the other one, right? So we knew we needed Rilla, we knew we needed Service Titan for all of our places, and we knew we needed Engage, right? That's an in-home presentation thing.
Yes.
And my leadership, Bill came back with me, thank God, right? We were only separated for about 10 months, which it was a long 10 months for him. So Bill came back and I said, Bill, my wife got sick. I think my wife almost died. And Bill immediately came back when that happened. I mean, we're better friends than we are coworkers, believe it or not. So as soon as we got sick, he immediately quit and said, I'm going to go back with Lance. No questions asked. He knew a lot. I would have had to shut down stuff if he didn't come back. Full transparency. I was going to leave and just probably almost retire with my wife. Yeah. Probably would have really just retired. And so he comes back. I can't wait to tell you the story. And Bill comes back and he's in there for about like 3-4 weeks. And Service Titan Rilla wasn't fully implemented to this shit that I needed my KPIs for. And Engage wasn't even on the fucking table, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, Bill, what is going on? And Bill, Bill's always polished, always, well, Lance. Well, I didn't get a polished Bill. He's like, you got to fucking get rid of these people. They're against you. I'm like, what do you mean? They've been with me now for 2, 3, or 4 years. He's like, they don't want to do it. You've been trying to push this now for months. They aren't on board with you. They're against you. And I brought him in immediately into the conference room. And I said, guys, what's going on here? And the truth came out. Like, there were I could tell by how their body language and that.
Yeah.
And we separated. One was a partner. We separated. I let 2 or 3 of my leaders go that day. And then inside of 30 days, Rilla was fully implemented. Service Titan was 100 times better. Yes, like, I mean, not even close. And Engage presentation, was almost like 90% done.
That's the tough part. That's most people won't do that. That's the hard part. Most people know what to do, but they don't want to do it because it takes tough.
I've always say this to people. I can't control what you do. I can control what I do.
Yeah.
But the needs of you will never overcome the business and where I'm going.
Yeah.
I used to do that. I used to, like 15 years ago, 10 years ago. And I'll tell you a story, that you'll understand because you have partners. One of my best friends who I love dearly, Sam, who's one of the best guys. I would tell anyone this is not a slight. Sam, this is because Sam's one of the best men you ever know. My wife knows if I die tomorrow, and I say this in front of everyone, Sam is the number one person for him to call. So I trust Sam with my money. I trust Sam with my life. But Sam's vision was just different than my vision. And you know how this works, right? It's just 2 different visions. They never align. So I said, Sam, I got to buy you out, and we got to go our own way. And I swore after that partnership where I held myself back at times because Sam's vision didn't match my vision.
Right.
I'll never allow someone's vision not to match my vision.
Yeah.
I immediately clip it. And how many times have I done it, Bill? Well, as soon as my visions don't, like one of my partners, his vision didn't align with me a week ago, I'm already buying him out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, if your vision does not, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with two people.
No, it's
Like, people make it like, I trust Sam with my money. Sam could have access to my bank accounts tomorrow. Like, Sam could have, Sam is one of my most trusted people in the world. Like, and people are like, well, you bought him out, or he bought you out. We separated. We split up millions and millions of dollars, and we split it up in an hour at a conference table. No lawyers, no arguing. This is the type of character this man is. And I'm not talking a few $1 million. I'm talking about 8 figures plus.
Yeah.
We split up at a conference table in 1 hour.
yeah.
The guy is the ultimate man. Like, he's the ultimate guy.
If the vision wasn't aligned, then the project's not the same.
I just knew where I wanted to go, and like, it's hard because you love someone. He's truly, like, I feel bad because
I imagine some of the leaders that you had, you probably trusted them and probably good relationships, and
listen, I said this, and me and Bill are, we're very close. Obviously, you can tell, and I'll give you something that I learned, and I heard someone say it, and when you're in a meeting and people are talking and you say your vision and you say what you want to do and you want to achieve, it's okay that people give you the downfalls of things. But once you say we're moving forward and someone says, but, they are against you. And Bill, we had that conversation, right? I said, they're against you. And once someone ever says, but, after we say this is where we're going, I terminate. No matter who it is.
Yep.
Because I know I didn't do a good enough job at selling you on why you should be with me. So fuck it, you're against me. And if you're against me, you got to go.
Yep.
I mean, I know that sounds terrible, but
it doesn't. That sounds perfectly logical. I'm like, oh, yep, computer algorithms out.
Well, just think about that. The minute, if you said, hey, listen, I want to take Rilla public.
Yeah.
And one of your partners say, after you say, this is where we're going, you're the leader, this is where we're going. But Sebastian, I don't agree with that. I think we keep it private. It's a cash cow.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that?
Yeah.
And they're saying it publicly.
Yeah, and nobody's aligned. If you have a team of people that are not aligned, rowing in the same direction, that's just chaos.
It's just chaos.
And that's when cultures deteriorate. So everybody has to have one common goal, one common vision. Yeah, so I totally get it.
That's why I understand why people would ever cancel your product. And you're probably right. It's probably people that see a shiny object.
Yeah.
They think it's easy to do.
Yes.
They think it's easy to do.
Yes.
Nothing is easy.
Yes.
Nothing's easy.
Yeah, they think that this is gonna, like, we've seen that before, where it's like people think that it's a silver bullet. It's like no. First, we have a tool. Okay, it has to be used. Like any tool, if you had a wrench and you weren't using the wrench, the HVAC isn't gonna fix itself.
Absolutely.
Nobody takes the wrench and uses it. And so it's a tool for coaches. Okay, so you have to have coaching talent. You have to have talent inside of your organization. That's what we reject a lot of businesses. One of the reasons why we were successful at a roofing process conference is because the type of business that you guys attract is different than the average type of business that's out there, especially in roofing, which is kind of like trying to catch up as an industry with the home services crowd, which is like more technology adept and so on and so forth. We actually reject a lot of people. We try to reject a lot of people.
I believe that.
From our sales pipeline. We don't even, like, if you don't have a CRM technology, if you don't have a process that you want your people to follow, if you don't have a management structure that you can hold people accountable,
send all these people to LV Capital. I'll turn them around in 30 days.
Like, yeah, they have to have what you do first, so that they can come and like Bill, you see how you say, like, oh, it's the best onboarding experience for somebody like you, is one of the best onboarding experiences ever. But imagine you were trying to onboard Rilla. You have no sales process. You have no idea. You don't get it. You don't, like, imagine you're a guy who's never sold anything in his life.
Imagine for me.
Every morning when I get my morning sip, it says the following people have not completed their onboarding experience.
I'm also fun. But you gotta remember, I have no login to anything. I can't even log into my own QuickBooks. People are like, "What do you mean?" I don't have access to my own bank accounts.
Yeah.
I
You have
don't.
access to the people.
Huh?
The people.
I have access to people. They hand me the reports, and people are like, "Are you worried about someone stealing from you?" I'm like, "Yo, guys, listen. if the people around me wanted to fuck me over by now, they would have. They would have done it.
That he truly checks.
Yeah.
My text message I think it was 6 o'clock.
And the Instagram with the where you showed me where you get a lot of the companies that reach out to you.
People reach out.
No, that's your.
But Jacob and Neary handle that now because it's so many a day. We get 20 on each platform. It's insane. Like I showed you how many I get a day.
Tell me about it. That's why, like when we started the Rilla Labs, I was like a lot because like of what you showed me from the social media. I was like, oh wow.
We were at the pool in New York,
yeah.
and I just started showing you my DMs. This guy wants to partner. This guy wants to partner. He was like, just from your social media. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I get more leads from my social media.
It's an acquisition. You have something that a lot of the private equity companies, because they have like entire, outbound teams going out there sourcing leads. They come to you. They're like, oh, let's do a shop tour. It's so great. It's literally like you're putting the light and all the fireflies are trying to come in.
Hey, it still goes down to one thing though. People fail to implement.
Without a doubt.
You can tell people, hey, let's do this. Oh, all you got to do is hit record when you go dispatch to the call.
I told you social media podcast. Yes or no? That's what I think you guys start doing it. Do you know how many other private equity guys I said start? Oh no, I can't do it. I'm like, do it. I don't do well on camera. Do you think I love cameras?
Yeah.
Like, come on. I just got used to it. Like, I was very uncomfortable. Right now, I'm so used to it. I don't care. Right. I'm still me. And people were like, well, I don't know. Okay, well, you're paying all these M&A guys. M&A guys reach out to us. How many times they come work for us?
A lot.
Like M&A guys beg me for jobs. Oh, I could take you. I'm like, fuck you. I don't need. We're not going out. Everyone comes to me, and I pick who I want to partner with.
Yes.
The minute you cause me an ounce of stress, like when we do an agreement, like you think I'm joking? We send our partner agreement.
The last one that went out. The last one that went out to the last partner, whoever it is.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. You told us that. I said, this is it. If your lawyer redlines one thing, I don't care if it's a misspelling, I won't respond.
I don't want to do it.
I won't respond. So this is the best thing. The guy calls me up and says, Lance, before I even talk, I want you to know we're not redlining anything. We just think there's a grammatical paragraph in your thing. My lawyer wants to explain it. Lance, I'll sign it if you tell me to sign, but I think it actually harms you, my lawyer said. So I said, sure, put your lawyer on. And the lawyer was a really nice guy. And Bill will laugh here. And he's like, listen, Lance, I'm just telling you on page 7 of your agreement, this is misworded. I can send it over the way it should be. If you want him to sign it, he's doing the deal with you. And I told him he should never sign this because like I take operational control. Like, I'm very transparent with people. Like, if you're so fucking successful, do it without me.
Yeah.
But what I'm not doing is I'm not partnering with you, and then you start ripping because I don't have access to my own accounts. If I don't take money from the accounts, why are you going? I run it like when I was the vice president of AT&T.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Our finance team. Like, think about this. Like, I couldn't tell you anything about my financials unless it comes from the P&L. And that's what it's supposed to be. That is business. Make sense? And then I'll ask Bill, how is the money in the accounts, cash? And to make a long story short, I get my lawyer on the phone. I'm like, yo, you got to answer right now. That's important, right? And so she answers. Her name's Erica. She's the bestest girl, right? I said, Erica, I got such and such because I don't want to put the guy's name on. He's my partner now. And he goes, I said, the paragraph, whatever. And she goes, Lance, he's right. I said, we'll edit it, change it, let's get it right back to you. And the guy's coming on as a partner now. But the point being is, he knew I was so serious because the guy in Virginia came to partner with us, and he redlined like 6 things. I never responded. So like a week goes by, he texts me, I don't respond. 2 weeks go by, now he's blowing up my phone, emails, this and that. I don't respond. He calls Bill. Bill answers the phone. He goes, hey, what'd you say to him? Lance will never talk to you again. You
There's 2 things that kill deals.
Yeah. Time
and lawyers.
Yes. Well, you reach your time, not the problem.
Well, lawyers want to fill up the bill tape.
Yes. Oh my God.
An agreement you sign is only as good as your word. You can sue anyone over anything.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't understand it, like, I don't know if you know this, one SEO didn't pay me my earnout.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, like, so we got all these documents, like just documents after documents. Here, I'm going to ask you a question. Would you eat millions of dollars on a one-page paper of saying, one page, would you eat millions of dollars saying, here's your one-page financial report, and you're not getting millions of dollars? Would you eat millions of dollars on one page?
I would do. I no.
No. You're stuttering. No. Would your investors eat millions of dollars?
No.
Okay.
My investment documents are too long, and I have to put them on. Yeah.
So I wrote back and I said, listen, we got a problem here. Let me see the financials. And this is the best part of it. Total other expenses, like in a P&L. And everyone understands when you look at a P&L, when you see total other expenses and it equates in a year time frame of 1.5, well, what's in the total other expenses? How can you have $1.5 million in a column called total other expenses? Here at Rilla, what's in the other? What's other? What's the other?
When Garrett sees other, he knows Will's off the reservation.
So
Will's our marketing guy.
So I've been paid my earnout by every single company. I've never not been paid into this one. It's the irony of it all. So
that's crazy.
I'm going back and forth, and I'm like, I tried to work it out for probably, 4 months? For 4 months. Give me the financials. The guy's ignoring me, gaslighting me. I gave you everything you're entitled to. So I sued. Now, I want you to think about that. You sue the company that you love.
Yeah.
My ex-sister-in-law is the CEO, and I actually just texted her today. I'll show it to you. I'm like, listen, you are better than this. I was like, you don't have to work for a thieving scumbag like this.
Jesus.
Come back to me. I'm like, I feel bad. Look at it. Like, I'm not lying.
I love you. Let's start looking for another job. You're welcome to join, Pete.
like people don't understand. Like, and I don't do that in a bad way, but it's like people don't understand when you sell these organizations. It's a two-way street. And listen, I learned a lot. I always say some of your best experiences. Like the guy's a search fund. It wasn't a real private equity firm. So he raises all this money, 30-some people on the cap table. And he's like, you're under NDA. This is his line. You're under NDA not to tell. Fuck you. Under NDA. As long as I tell the truth,
Yeah.
I'm golden.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
wow. I did not know that happened.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That is like such a and for people watch. I mean, like learning from the mistakes and stuff like that. But did you ever see the red flags with the deal, like when it was happening, like looking back?
So this is where the guy's a very polished guy. Like, you got to remember, I've sold 6 companies.
Yes. Wasn't this your first?
It was my second.
Uh-huh.
Right. And what I did was, and the group I used to help broker the deal, Barney Group, I can't say a bad word about them. I'd recommend them to anyone. But digital agencies, as you know, a lot of these people buying them are search fund people, private equity, real private equity firms, the Apex, the Vertex, the Alpines, the big ones, Persian. They've all said we don't want to be in that space. The churn's too high.
Yep.
A lot of it's the digital marketer at the helm that understands it, has the relationship. So we don't really want to be in this, right? Like, Rilla would be very hard without your main engineers here and without you. It would probably crumble, right?
Yes.
Digital agencies are very similar, right? So we went through the process with him, and nice guy. I mean, he seemed like a nice guy. Didn't have any really red flags. He was so thorough, right? And this is like the irony. He grilled our P&Ls. The due diligence took almost 4 or 5. It was insanity.
Yeah.
Like, he nitpicked every single thing, But you want me to eat millions of dollars? It's a public lawsuit. You can go look it up.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars for a one-page sheet. We attached it to the law. Like, no one eats millions of dollars on a one-page sheet.
Yeah.
Right? And you wrote me a really nice note on this first sheet and a thank you on the third sheet. But the financials are on one page. You copy and paste, right? And, we had an issue immediately because I was the largest investor. And we had an issue with the true-up. And I said, listen, I don't want nothing to do with you. I saw the side of him that
after
we closed the deal. And the relationship changed immediately. Immediately. Like, the relationship changed, which I was leaving. I didn't want to stay. That was my biggest thing. I didn't want to stay. And, the relationship changed immediately.
It's something that people should, like, for people watching, especially people that are looking to transact. One of the things that I look for when I'm talking to investors and stuff like that, you are basically trying to play an infinite game of sorts. Like, when you're negotiating with people, a lot of people make the assumption that it's like a zero-sum game. It's like, I win or lose. But when you're dealing with these partnerships, if you treat the game like that, you're actually doing yourself and the partner a disservice, because what you're doing is you're winning the short-term game at the expense of the infinite game, which is a lifelong partnership. And that seems to what have happened.
Well, think about this, you know, and I don't want to say, you know, but as long as I tell the truth, which I always do, is this is who I am, like the truth will set you free. Like that's just the bottom line. And he has to now deal with the consequences of how many other people are going to want to deal with him.
Correct.
How many other,
That's the
like every person I've ever transacted with, they're like, this guy's a pillar of his word. He's hands off. Company's great. We had smooth transactions. We record months. Like this guy keeps doing what he's doing. But now and listen, my thing was this, just hand me the financials.
Yeah.
And we'll work it out. And do you think I got the financials?
No.
And we don't want to hand someone financials, Sebastian. What does that mean?
There's something fishy going on.
Like it's real simple. Like my wife has access to my phone.
Yeah.
She does. I don't give a shit. I've never been through my wife's phone just because I don't believe a man should ever go through a woman's phone. I'm just very much like that. I've never, ever once has been through my wife's phone. Ever.
Okay.
But my wife, because I have so much shit going on, has to go through my emails and my phone to find stuff because I'm busy, right? So I'm like, here you go. But like, my thing is this, though, is I have nothing to hide, so you can have my phone.
Here it is.
Yeah, if one of my ex-girlfriends happen to text me, she knows I'm not a bad guy. No, I have a relationship. Like, I'm not going to be like, because I'm married now, I'm not going to say nice things about one of my exes. Like, that's the stupidest thing I heard. If someone says happy birthday, I'm going to respond. Like, I expect her to respond to her ex-boyfriends. Like, come on, like, grow up. So, but if you won't show financials.
Something fishy.
Well, I always say this about people. People that don't talk about money don't have money. People that don't talk about money, when you hear someone says talking about money is rude, I know right away you got no fucking money.
Yeah. And it's something that with successful people, like you see it like in normal life. When you and I talk, like, you know, when successful people talk to each other, they love that. Like they're like, you know, like Tommy, how he walks into a room, you know, like anybody who's like outside of this space of like people are trying to growth mindset, people are like, oh my God, this guy's talking about how many millions he does.
I show my bank account to people. Yes, I show my kids' bank account to people.
Super helpful. Like when I meet other tech founders, one of the things that I've noticed that is super helpful is like a utility is I want to know what stage they're at. So I know what the conversation is going to be. Is it me going to be giving them more information, or is it them going to be me teaching me information? So the first thing I ask is like, how much revenue are you doing and what's your stage as a company? And once they tell me that, I'm like, oh, you're way ahead of me. I'm smaller than you. You teach me. And if they tell me they're smaller than me, then I teach that.
No,
Funny you should say.
I always say something because you just said that because someone said to me, why would you tell everybody what John Schoaf and Sky Harbor did? And what I say, I want to teach people. Listen, the damage done to me for the $3 million that he owes me. Do you think I need $3 million?
No.
I don't need $3 million. I know, but it ain't changing my life one iota. It's the principle. That's the only reason I'm going. But I want to teach people what not to do. Don't do what I did. I made everything I learned these mistakes. So when I'm coaching people and talking to them, I'm like, listen, ask what's their debt lever? Are they taking finance out? Are they going to use that payback loan against your EBITDA because they're allowed to?
Wow.
Like all these things you learn, right? That you just don't, what's my roll-up dollar amount worth, right? Like all these things. Hey, what's included in the true up? What's not included in the true up? All these things you learn. So and the reason I do the podcast, I do my social media, is to teach people and help people. The reason I do the masterminds, the coach group, because so many people have taught me, Sebastian.
Right.
I always say this, I'm either the student or a teacher in every conversation.
All the time.
Yeah, bro, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. That's all right. It's interesting you were saying that because in 2018, I went to my first Next Star event in Seattle. I go across the country and I'm like all nervous. I'm getting ready to come in and try to meet all these different people. We just got vetted into Next Star. And so this guy comes rolling in, right? And he goes straight to the bar. Boom, he hits a beer really quick. He hits another one. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's somebody out to hang out with you, right?
Yeah.
And so I introduced himself, and his name's Jerry Bell Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I said to him, how long you been a member of Next Star? And so he says, we've been a member for a few years now, right? And so I said to him, you know, what would be the one thing that you would teach people about Next Star? He said, here's the thing I learned more than anything. Okay, it isn't about the systems, it isn't the process. It's about this, that this community
So small.
is so small, but more importantly, so willing to share. And we never did that in digital marketing. We never,
Yeah.
we were always so afraid of everybody stealing our customers.
Yes.
Okay. And he said, when I was a $2 million shop, I knew I wanted to be a $5 million. So I went to the $5 million shops and they opened their doors to me. When I went to the $5 million shops, I wanted to see what it was like to be a $10 million shop. So I went to 10 million. When I got to 10 million, I went to $20 million shops. He said, we got to 75 million. There weren't a whole lot of shops to go to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the point is that you making a great, that's why we still go and do shop tours.
Why is Rilla not doing shop tours? You should come and do shop tours. Get your customers come do shop tours with us. And when people that, like I said to your sales guys today, give out my fucking cell phone.
So that they can come and learn from how you did it.
And we did it, implement it. Really, I meant what I said. Listen, I wanted to show. What's your name again? Jake. I said, Jake, I'm going to show these guys. I got that New York fever right now. I'm feeling good, Jake. I'm feeling alive.
Doing pull-ups. He's like, give me a customer.
I said, give me a customer
right now.
Because, but who better to close someone for you guys than the guy that's building companies that never do it but use the technology to build the company?
That's what's really cool about what you guys are doing, because you guys are going in from like day one. I mean, I'm seeing companies now that, because Rilla's been around for a few years now, we're seeing companies that don't know what it's like to have a sales team without Rilla, because they just start fresh and they're like, we don't do physical ride-alongs. We do Rilla. We do coaching with this digital tool. And for them, they don't know anything better.
Think about it this way. It's like,
It's every one of our companies.
yeah, it's almost like when somebody says, oh, how, a dog 7 years, right? You like working in an AI environment. It's literally what you can do. You can answer that question of, hey, how to role play with Rick.
Yes.
Coming out of it. It's instantaneous. Like it's like everything that you do and that we get to implement. It's like microwave. I press the button, I get it back in 38 seconds.
Yes.
And I know the answer.
Yes.
And it gives me the information to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to keep this going too long because I know we got stuff to do. I'm going to leave you with one final question for every contractor out there. Give them the biggest reason, because I'm a Rilla advocate. You know that.
Yeah.
Like I believe in Rilla. All my companies are on Rilla. And I believe with all my heart, I don't sell Cherry. I don't sell Munns without Rilla. With all my heart. And I don't believe Planet Roof does $3 million last month without Rilla.
Right.
That's just a fact. Like, Bill's never sold a fucking roof. Like, I'm not like, this guy doesn't even know what a fucking gutter guard is. I asked him the other day, what's a gutter guard? He's like, what's a gutter guard? I'm joking. I'm joking. He get upset. I'm joking, everybody. He knows what a gutter guard is.
I just learned what one was, Bill, too. So we're the same.
What advice would you give to these entrepreneurs that want to grow because they're not embracing technology?
Yeah. So what I would say is AI is the biggest technology revolution that has ever happened. And certainly since we have all been alive, it's bigger than the internet. It's bigger than personal computers. The economic impact of AI will be much larger than anything that we have ever seen combined. And you cannot avoid it. I mean, the fact that OpenAI is already worth $100 billion. OpenAI, let me remind everybody, OpenAI came out with ChatGPT in 2022. It's been 3 years since they came out with ChatGPT, and it's already a household name. Old people, like 70-year-old people are using ChatGPT. Like 80-year-old people are using ChatGPT. Young people are using ChatGPT. Everybody's using ChatGPT. It's coming for every segment of the economy. And people always wonder, oh my God, is AI going to replace us? Is AI going to replace us? AI won't replace you, but somebody using AI will replace you.
I love that. If somebody using AI will replace you. Bill, tell them what we're doing Monday and Tuesday all day. Just tell me, this will make you happy.
We brought in an AI coach to help us on every aspect across the platform, from whether it be CSR, whether it be ad content, whether it be
my daily life, my everyday life.
Yeah.
My calendar, whatever it might be. We're bringing an AI coach in for 2 days, shutting down the LV cap so that
The whole entire leadership team shutting everyone down. And people thought I was nuts. And we're paying this guy, what, $75,000 for 2 days, 75 grand.
Great.
People thought I was crazy. Now, here's the kicker. There's the cherry on top. He's coming to the farm on Sunday night, sleeping over because Monday and Tuesday. He doesn't know this already. We're hiring him for 2 days with my children. He's going to teach my sons and their friends how to use everyone that comes to my wrestling house. I'm going to offer their parents for free.
That's a super
I'll pick up the bill and say, here, you want your... And now some of these parents are going to say, oh, I don't want my kids using ChatGPT. Well, guess what? You're a fucking idiot because it ain't going nowhere. And like, it's like when I hear a parent say, I don't want my kid having a phone. My kids all have phones from the time they're 2 years old.
Yeah.
All my kids. Like, they're going to get it. Let's just speed up their learning real fast here with technology, right?
Yeah.
And that's how much we believe in AI. Just think about that.
People like that. It's not AI doesn't have a will. It doesn't have the power to create new things, but it has the power to massively enhance the human mind like never before. And so, you know, when people say it's not Rilla that's going to go out and beat you, it's Bill using Rilla who's going to go and take over your market.
And we are.
And that's hard, you know, because it's like Bill says, Rilla's one of the best implementations. It's only one of the best implementations because he had all the right things already there. And so, yeah, for contractors out there, the industry is insanely sophisticated more than ever before. AI is here. Rilla is just one little piece of the puzzle in the AI ecosystem. And if you are still uncomfortable with this technology, this is not a technology that's going to take 10 years to take over like the CRM. It's not going to take 10 years. It's literally taking over the market in a period. Every month.
I think it's already taken over.
Every month that you wait without AI, you're falling behind and you're going to be left in the...
It's just, it really truly is when you said it's the biggest revolution that we're going to see.
It's already happening. So I go away with my wife now after she almost died 2 years ago for 2 full weeks. And we leave June 16th, June 18th is already that. And, you know, I'm fortunate. We just go. We're going to Europe. I don't even know where we're going, honestly. I don't give a shit. I get to be with my wife. You know what that means, Sebastian. Baby. So I don't care. The 2 kids, baby. Pound Town's coming, right? She might not be happy, but this guy's happy, right? So I don't give a shit, right?
Thank you to your wife. Or grace her.
2 weeks, right? It's hard to say no to your husband when you're on vacation for 2 weeks, right? Come on, let's go. But on a serious note, I thought this meeting was so important. We rearranged our whole entire schedule to get it done before we go away.
Yeah.
Because we're growing so fast at LB Capital, and we can't even get back to people for our partnership. People begging me to partner, can we? And people think like we're rude sometimes. Like a guy in Scottsdale, he's been trying to get a hold of me. He wants to partner with me for a $12 million cabinet company. Jacob just had it. He must have reached out to me how many times? 15?
Probably.
10?
Think about this. Could you do anything without chat right now?
Oh, no. I mean, like
I planned I'm driving across the country in an RV. I'm renting an RV on our move to Utah. I did the entire trip. How long I wanted to drive per day. You know what that would have been in planning to try?
Yeah.
It would have been possible.
I mean, like our engineers are using Cursor, like in engineering, Cursor is an AI kind of software enabled. It's an AI for software engineers to code like 10 times faster. And just like in tech, people are seeing this right now. As an engineer, you cannot get the bar for engineering talent is so much higher because right now you need the engineers who are at the top of the class who are able to operate with an AI. And if you get one of those engineers, they can outperform 100 engineers who don't know how to use it. And so the bar for performance and engineering everywhere, you just see it. It's just
is that first room when you walk in?
That's the cave.
Okay.
That's from that's the most cracked engineers.
They're drinking Coke.
They don't want to talk to human beings. They don't want to talk to people.
They're just in their code.
They speak machine code. They don't speak English.
I'm going to show the camera
what you're talking about.
So my son Hammer's really, really smart, right? My son LG will lead this family. My son Hammer's going to be the one that elevates the family. If you get so yeah, he's going to be the one that elevates the family. He's really smart, right? He might be on the spectrum. He's so smart, but that's another whole conversation. He's just he's too smart, right? So he loves chess, right? So I finally beat this fucking kid. I thought I beat him. Kids must have beat me 100 times. But I was distracting them last night, messing with them, had them all discombobulated, busting on them for losing the state title. Yeah. You know what I mean? He took third this year. I'm like, your brother took first. Like, just get them all riled up, right? So I finally had him, right? So I had this picture, right? And I was like, I beat you. He's like, no, it's a stalemate, right? And now he's running from me with his king, and I'm chasing the fucking king on the chessboard, right? I'm like, there's no such thing as a stalemate. He's like, no, it's a stalemate, Dad. I was like, I won, dude. I got more pieces than you. So I take the picture, as you can see.
Yeah.
Right? I put it up to ChatGPT. I said, is this a stalemate or checkmate? They came back, this is where you just hate technology. So I would have put him to bed and told him he was wrong. It's a stalemate. For analyzing the image, here's the key. The white king is on the second row from the top. Their black has multiple rooks, knights, and pawns in play. The white king is not currently in check. The white side has no other pieces remaining on the board. The white king has no legal moves that don't result in check. This is a stalemate, not checkmate. And they gave me the whole answer. And my son starts jumping up and down. Then his older brother, LJ, is like, nah, 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 nah. And I'm like, but like, that's where technology's, it's here. Like, I don't believe it's going to be like.
No, it's already happened. It grew faster than Google. ChatGPT was the fastest growing product of all time. The companies coming after ChatGPT are becoming the fastest growing companies of all time. It's like, yeah, if at this point we're talking and you still are in this like fear mindset of like, oh my God, oh Rilla, oh my God, AI. I'm sorry to say you're probably already getting left behind. It's been 2 years.
Well, you're going to be left behind. You're going to make yourself a living, and that's it. You're never going to build a company because you're going to make a living.
I don't even know if that's going to be true anymore, man.
With private equity coming in, and well, I mean,
imagine private equity's coming in. You're independent. You're still like you're not running a sophisticated business. You still want to run your business in pen and paper. You're not advancing. I don't think those businesses have a lot of the lifespan of those businesses is not very long.
I think there's business, I disagree. I think there's life businesses that are doing 500, 400,000. I think there always is this. I think somebody's always willing to pay Chuck in a truck. They don't think about the consequences of it. You know, with all the illegal immigrants in this country. I mean, no, I'm not being like, let's call it what it is, right? I could throw a fucking quarter in any direction here in New York and I'm going to bounce one off an immigrant that shouldn't be here. But I'm not being rude. Let's call it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
But like, is it sunny outside today?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Is there immigrants outside today? Okay. Like, why? Is that wrong to say?
No, but we were up for a meeting. We were up for a meeting a couple weeks. It was probably about 2 months ago. What was the name of the hotel? It was right in Midtown. They shut it down.
The Roosevelt.
The Roosevelt Hotel.
We couldn't get past.
Yes.
What happened?
Have you seen it?
It was like
There's a line out the door for
I
free.
don't watch the news much. We're in Queens, so we don't get the Gotham City vibes too much here in like a little pocket of civilization here in Queens. It's like in Manhattan. But yeah, I heard that they given a hotel and there was like a bunch of.
They shut it down. There's a line out the door. Yeah. So we're walking, right?
And I think Eric, it wasn't that high. Wasn't that like before?
No, that's 2 months ago.
Oh,
They closed the bell.
I thought it was because Eric Adams came and did a bunch of stuff.
We were here 2 months ago. Maybe 3 now at the time. We were here for a Service Titan private equity event.
Private equity symposium, yes.
Yeah, so I was there for that. And we're walking, and I see this line. I'm like, yo, Bill, look at that hotel. It must be popping. I said, people, and it's like 4 in the afternoon. I thought it was like a pool party or something.
Like a music festival or something.
But then I saw these kids too in line. I'm like, this is bizarre. It's the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, it's not a pool party, right? I didn't have to chat GPT that. I could understand that. And then I was like, Bill's like, Lance, he goes, they're immigrants. They get free rooms. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I was like, but the security's searching people going in. Am I exaggerating, right? So I walk up because I think Bill's trying to get me riled up because he knows how I feel about this shit, right?
Yeah.
And we take care of everyone else but our own, which is lunacy. But so I walk up, I say to the security guy, I'm like, yo, man, I was like, what's going on here? He's like, these are the people that this is the line waiting for a room for the night. So you ain't waiting for a room. I said, what's it cost? He goes, oh, it's free. I said, what do you mean it's free? He's like, they're on the housing list and they get free rooms.
Yeah.
I was like, so this Roosevelt Hotel, which is a famous hotel in New York City, and literally the most popular
people paying like $2,000, $2,500.
Our rooms that night to rent were $900 some bucks each, correct?
Yeah.
Right, $900 some bucks to rent that room that night where we stayed. It might have been a little bit less, but it was close to $900. And I'm like, I'm staying 2 blocks over in the same quality of hotel.
It's Midtown, right?
Yeah.
It's Midtown Manhattan.
And that's what you get.
Yeah.
So that's why I believe, Sebastian, as long as we allow this lunacy,
Yeah.
there will always be a place for Chuck in a truck that's willing to get paid cash, that's willing to take the Venmo, has no insurance. He'll charge you $150 a square because he'll go pick up the material and he'll say, give me $200 a day.
There's
There's always going to be that guy.
the lifestyle business versus the enterprise business.
Yeah. I guess that's why but that's a lot of the reason why the industry gets the bad rap, because the homeowners get what they pay for in a sense, right?
Oh, I don't ever blame the contractor, do I, Bill? I say it's on you, the homeowner.
Yeah.
You're educated enough now. Listen,
You have all the information in the world.
this is what I know. When I was single, before all this crazy bullshit, right, these apps, right, I was smart enough to know if I met a girl, I still Google her name. I just wanted to see what came back. And that was 16 years ago when I was Googling. Like, if I'm giving you money, I'm Googling your name. Right? Yeah. I'm Googling your name.
Yeah,
like, that's common sense.
Who's done business with you?
So if you don't have good reviews, if you don't have a good way, it's funny. I said to someone the other day, he goes, I don't want to put the money out to wrap my trucks. And I started laughing. And I said, how much could a truck wrap cost? 10 grand, 15 grand?
6, 7.
All right, 6, 7, right? So I even went higher. It takes you one job from the neighbor to pay for the truck wrap. That's the problem, though, because people don't understand.
What you pay for?
I blame the homeowner. I do not blame the contractor that robbed you. Only took advantage of you not taking 30 seconds to a simple Google search to see. It's not really hard.
It happens in a lot of industries, too. It happens in a lot of industries where you typically see that the equilibrium is most of the businesses are not well operated because, people are always trying to save a buck here and there. And then there's a few businesses that actually master this art of customer service, customer experience. And then people are like, oh, it's because it's hard to sell quality. But once you do it, that's when you become a defensible business over time.
Once you give people an experience, like I'm not in the roofing business. I'm not in the popcorn business. I'm not in the rum business. I'm buying a hotel this Friday,
Customer
right?
experience.
I'm in every business we have. I say to Bill, we are in the customer. Even my employees. I try to give Jacob and Miri an experience, right? Since I've been up here, have I tried to make everyone feel good? Like that is really your ultimate job, is to make people have experiences.
You do that well and well executed. It's hard. It's hard, right? You have to put wraps on the truck. You have to get uniforms. You have to coach your people. You have to recruit high caliber talent. You have to pay them well, benefits. It's really hard to do it. But if you do it, that's when wealth comes and profit comes and and the homeowners are happier and they're like, oh, wow, I used to have bad experiences with people. Why is this one so much different? Because of all the work that goes into
the little things make the big things. I heard Bill say something probably like a year and a half ago, and it resonated with me. He punched me in the face. Because we were arguing about something, not arguing, but it was getting heated.
Sure.
And he goes, Lance, if the fucker can't do step 1, how does he do step 2? And I was like, why do I rebut that? How do I rebut? That might have been over Rilla. He can't do step 1. How do you step? And you think about it.
Yeah.
Everything is process driven that has success.
Yes.
Everything, think about this. I came through here. There was a process. They asked me for my ID. They gave me a badge. I put the badge on the, whatever the thing's called. Then it gave me my elevator, right? Then it brought me up. Everything is anything with success has a process. I just truly believe that.
Yeah.
And if you think about even you're good looking, you're ripped, you're in good shape, you have a process, a morning routine. You can call it routine or process, but you have a process to what you eat, to how you work out, to how you sleep.
Travel.
All of it. There's a process.
Little tools that I use to keep my sleep in check, my workout in check, my food in check, fasting.
It was funny because Conrad was busting chops about wearing the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't have to make that decision. Because
I have the same. This is the same T-shirt in different colors that I have for every day of the week. It's the same thing. Same pants, same T-shirt, different colors, no difference. Just wear the same thing. Every time you've ever seen me, I've been wearing a T-shirt and it's the same thing. And then she'd say, new product. Yeah. In the Masters, when I was pitching the new product hands-free, I was wearing a T-shirt with my pants. No difference.
So, know it's something we have in common?
What?
The only time we have something in common, the only time I don't wear LB Capital gear for the most part in the same type of jeans is when my wife dresses me.
Oh, that's so funny.
So when I go out, my wife, she'll leave clothes out, or when I travel, it's almost like playing a game with my wife when I travel. Like, I'm going away there for 2 weeks, and it's like, what did she buy, Lance? What's she gonna do? I feel like she's like dressing her little pet.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, Lance, for my little pet tonight, we're gonna dress him up.
I'm gonna for once get to dress him up with something.
Because I would wear an LB Cap shirt.
I wear the same shoes, my Allbirds, very comfortable.
I would wear, and Bill says all the time, we just talked about this. I would wear Tyrant gear, Malvern gear, GA gear. His wife's company, High Caliber, does great marketing.
High Caliber market.
That's his company. His wife's company. Yeah, so. I'd wear Camp Digital stuff, great marketing company. I really keep it to the brands I support, makes sense. And I wear LB Capital gear. I don't wear any sports gear because they don't give a shit about me, so I don't give a shit about them. And I don't understand. Like, I see people crying when the Eagles lose, and I'm like, dude, you could die tomorrow. These people won't send you a funeral fucking flower. What is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with
That's
you?
just people in the soul.
Huh?
That's the power of games and sports, man. People it's like a religion.
I don't believe that. I believe, truthfully, people are lonely. Like, if you think about some of the greatest things in our generation, in our lifetime, that you'll see, people join cults because they're lonely.
Yeah.
People replace things like sporting events because maybe family isn't what you want. Like, if you really think about it, if your heart is whole and you have God, whatever your God may be, right, and you have a beautiful family and you have a beautiful work environment and you have a lot of love in your life and things are going well, you really don't have time to give a shit about who wins. No, I mean, like, these guys are making $20 million a year while you're making $50,000. Like, they're making 20. They don't give a shit about you, and you're spending 2 hours of your life arguing about who the better quarterback is. Like, honestly, I'm going to take all my energy and help build Team PA wrestling, bring it back to success because it impacts my children.
Yeah.
Right? That's where my time and energy is going. I'm not putting it into. Listen, I love Tom Brady. I would love to meet him. I've never got the opportunity to meet him because of his mindset. It's not because of what he did on the field. It's what he overcome to do everything. That mindset of that winner. That'd be my first question. What made you keep going?
Yeah.
You've interviewed a lot of people. Who have you enjoyed interviewing the most?
Oh, wow. Nick Saban for sure. Just the aura. I was very surprised because I'm not American, right? So watching, I didn't know anything about college football. I'm like, when people said to me like, oh, we're going to get Coach Saban to be the speaker. And I'm like, what did he do? He go, oh, he was a famous college football coach. And I'm like, we couldn't get like a NFL coach, like college football. I'm like thinking this is like minor league kind of. I'm like, no, this guy. And I see him walk out, people standing ovation, like people were like it was like people were like tearing up meeting the coach. And I was like, oh shit. And then what's really great about him. So that's why I was like, I found it like just very surprising. I was like, oh, people like at the Masters we had people would when he comes in on stage, the aura of like, holy shit, Coach Saban's here. People get up. And then the conversation, what I really love about him is that he represents the best thing about the Rilla brand, which is sales as a sport, because he is one of the best coaches of all time. But he's also one of the best business people.
I didn't know that.
So he runs one of the most successful car dealers
I knew that.
in the world. And it's all sales-driven, process-driven. It's all the things that we as a brand want to put out into the world. Like, hey, if you can actually be disciplined about following a process, whatever it is that you're doing in life, you will find not just success, but world-class, generational success. You will find that. And so he embodies that, and he's insanely smart. And this is aura. He's definitely the best person I've talked to. And I've talked to a lot of really cool people.
Listen, we're going to have 900 people back at the roofing conference this year. We had 800 last year. We're going to 900 this year. We agreed to. Are you bringing Nick Saban? That's the question right now.
I don't know.
Hey, let's go.
Coach, we need to reach out to Coach Saban like with months of anticipation because his wife, Miss Terry, is the one who handles all of his speaking.
Well, Miss Terry, let's go because we need you to. Let's make that happen.
And he's like you. He won't answer you for months and then.
I tried to answer almost families. I tried to.
Oh, what you were done.
I know.
Hard to get it.
Listen, I want to thank you for sponsoring the podcast, for always sponsoring the
Thank you,
conference. I think the world of your organization. Congrats on all your success. And I'm proud to call you a friend, truly. Like, it's been amazing to watch your journey and what you're building here. And I'm glad I actually took the time to come up here because you got a hell of a culture, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for
brother.
coming, man. This is awesome. Thank you.
Can't say anything other than that.